Blog Talk Radio, the world's largest online radio network.
Hello and welcome to Wednesday night, and this is the Jammin Jukebox Radio Show. I am your host, DJ Delta Dawn, and we are so delighted that you're with us tonight and taking a little bit of time away from the busy lives and lifestyles to be a part of what we do. We appreciate it so much. Tonight, we have got an awesome talent with us, and she's just incredible and phenomenal. Namely because she is not that old, but when you hear her voice, as you just heard in the opening clip, Melissa Beal is really up and coming and one to watch. And I want to say hello to her right now. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Dawn. How's it going?
How are you? Well, it's been great. How are things your way?
Everything's great here. Yeah. Is there a time difference between where we are? You're on Eastern Standard Time, right?
Yes. What are you on?
The same. So we are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wondered about that. So now, are you in Canada or are you in the States?
I'm in Canada. I live in a town called Burlington, which is just about 45 minutes away from Toronto.
Oh wow! Well, you know, my hometown, believe it or not, in case you didn't catch the accent, I'm from North Carolina, born and raised here, and my hometown was Burlington, North Carolina. So
no way.
Yes way. I mean, there's a little factoid, listeners, for all you who follow me, but no, seriously. I mean, I did not know that there was a town in Canada called Burlington. I'm like, wow, small world there. Nice. Well, I'm just delighted that you're with us tonight. You know, we set this up some time ago, and I think I was telling you, you know, when you called, I said it just seemed like it was going to be forever before, you know, we've had some correspondence, and it was so far out. And at the time, it seemed like it was so far out. But to think we're almost right on the cusp of October, the time is just flying by. It's too
scary.
fast. It is scary.
I'm pretty sure I have a worse winter to worry about than you guys do down there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, you know what? Being in North Carolina, our weather is really unpredictable because in the summers, you know, the summers are about the only time that you can really say, okay, we know we're going to have very hot heat and high humidity. I mean, but in the winter, we can get a mild winter one year, and the next winter we can have 4 snowstorms, you know, and a snowstorm here is 1 inch of snow on the ground. So you can go ahead and laugh. You know, people, I don't know about in Canada. I mean, I'm sure it's got to be, you know, you guys get snow all winter, and you're probably sick of snow. We would love to have some of it down here. But they call for snow or any kind of frozen precipitation like days in advance. They make it this huge, big weather event. And then everybody, I don't know what it is, but people go out to the store and they buy milk and bread. I don't understand what the rationale is behind that, but it's been that way as long as I can remember. But that's for like an inch or two of snow. People get excited. And, you know, and then, of course, they get out in it and they can't drive. Well, they can't drive when it's raining either, so I can't imagine what we would do if we were in Canada. It would be unreal.
Goodness. Yeah, well, sometimes, I guess, have you ever been really snowed in before?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, a couple of decades ago, we would get really, you know, a foot or more of snow, and it was not uncommon. But now we're just a lot milder than we used to be.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same here, really. Like last winter, we had it so easy. We had a few snowstorms, but sometimes the first snowfall is always really exciting, and then when you get snowed in one day and you literally can't get your car out of your driveway, it's kind of fun because you just got an excuse to bundle up inside all day.
Well, I know, and everybody needs those kind of days every now and again. And I don't know, there's something nostalgic when there's a snowstorm like that because all you can do is get out and play in the snow. Yeah. And do you guys in Canada make snow cream, which is like ice cream, but you make snow cream? Have you ever heard of that? Snow cream. Uh-huh.
No, we make snow men.
Okay, well, let me tell you what we do in the South. As long as I have been living, there is just something we do in the South, and we make snow cream. And the rule is the first snowfall of the year, you can't make it because the first snow supposedly is cleaning the air and the atmosphere of all the gunk. Right. So the second snowfall, you go outside with one of your big pots, the biggest pot you can find, and you fill it up with snow, and you bring it in, and you put milk and sugar and vanilla, very much like what would go in homemade vanilla ice cream. Mix it all up, and you got snow cream. And it is some of the best stuff you will ever eat. I mean,
cream. Oh, my goodness.
The snow
I
cream.
can't believe we
Try
haven't
it.
thought of that.
I'm amazed. I mean, but it's kind of like a southern thing. I mean, I'm not so sure that other parts of the country would have ever heard of this, but now the people up north, when they get snow and they're listeners to the show, they'll know go make some snow cream this winter. But it's kind of neat, you just eat it, and it's really light, so it's not heavy like ice cream is.
Yeah.
And you can just eat like 3 and 4 bowls at a time before you ever begin to get full. It's really cool.
Wow.
And if you run out and you want more, you don't have to churn anything. You just get more snow, bring it in, start all over.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm definitely going to try that this year.
We like to have one year where we can just have one snow a year where we can have the snow cream, and then once we're done, it's like, okay, we're good for the year now. So, then we're all yearning for spring. We're never satisfied in the South when it comes to the weather, so that's how it goes.
Oh, we're the same.
Well, I want to start out tonight by, just commending you. When I first got your music and I heard your voice, I could not. I mean, I read your bio, and I've been following you for a little while now, and I was blown away. I was like, no way. There is no way she could be as young as she is. Your voice is phenomenal.
Thank you so much.
I love its sound. You have such a rich, bluesy, very soulful, sultry sound. Your voice is so mature, and timeless for your age. I mean, it's unbelievable. So I was like, I've got to get this girl on the show. Nobody will ever believe this.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, but you've got your EP is really good, and we have been promoting it and playing it some on some of our indie artist showcase shows on Saturday nights, and been getting some really good feedback on it.
Oh, really? That's fantastic. Well,
yes,
thank you so much for playing it.
Yes, people are really digging your music, and I like playing it, and one of my favorites is, your remake of Ain't No Sunshine.
Oh, cool.
When you put yourself into that song, the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, my gosh, Bill Withers, she's giving him a run for his money. I mean, it's unreal. And, and I said, all the other songs are so good as well, but because, I think it's, especially when you're an artist that's really working to make it, and you do a remake of a song that is that good, that really just goes to show, what a talent you are. Because, I think a lot of artists start out doing covers, but it is interesting when you can take a cover and kind of make it your own. And you definitely did that with Ain't No Sunshine. And that's one of my favorite songs of all time anyway. So when I saw it, when I first got the EP and I saw it on there, I went straight to it. I mean, before I started listening to any other tracks, I was like, I got to hear this, So,
yeah, for sure. That's kind of the advantage to, as you said, when you're working on getting out there as an artist. Sometimes it's a good idea to record a cover if you think you can pull it off, and because, like you said, when people see something that they recognize, they're a little bit more willing to try it out, with a new artist.
Oh, yeah.
So it's my icebreaker.
Oh, well, it's phenomenal, and I would just tell the listeners that if you have not heard Melissa's EP, you need to go to her website, melissabale.com, and I'm telling you, her music is great. You're in for a real treat. So be sure and check out Ain't No Sunshine, because it's one of my all-time favorites. I'm so glad you did that one, and it was a treat for me. But let's talk about your album now. You, this is your first release, obviously, and how long did it take you to put it together from start to finish, from the writing?
This is my second release.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies.
No problem. My first album I released back in 2009. It's called Brave, and I released it actually over in Europe, and it did really well in Germany and got a good amount of airplay and publicity and reviews, and so from that buzz that the album created, I was able to book a tour over in Germany back in 2010.
Wow.
So I did that. Yeah, and that was just fantastic. My first tour at the age of 21, and I had my parents with me as stage managers or tour managers, so it was an experience like no other, and it was fantastic. So then pretty much just after I got back from that, I started to record the songs for Distance, and so it took about 2 years to to get released, through the recording process and the deciding how exactly we were going to release it and where and when and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you, your album, I mean, to be so young, that's one thing about your album. It's just so evolved, and it's just, like I said, it's just so ahead of, if someone listens to your music, they would never believe that you are as young as you are, and you've already recorded an album previous, and, but where did you get your inspiration for this album, Distance?
I wrote actually a lot of these songs, even like a couple years before we recorded the album. So, like say Distance, I wrote that back when I was 17 about a relationship I was in that was kind of falling apart at the time. 17-year-old.
Oh yeah.
Heartbroken.
Mm-hmm.
He'll Never Be You. I wrote that as well when I was in high school, maybe even 16. Oh man. It's crazy that it took so long to get on an album, but Joyride and Lovesick were a bit newer, and as well as Over and Done With. Joyride was a song that I actually started one night, just had the title Joyride, and thought it could be cool. But then I didn't do anything with it for about 6 months, and I was going through my notes because I needed to write a song, seeing what I had in my little reserve. And I came across it and decided that I better finish that song because I think it could be cool. So that one, like He'll Never Be You came to me in a night, and then Joyride took 6 months from beginning to end to complete. So they all have little different stories behind them.
Oh yeah, and it's just interesting because I often say this, that music is like the universal language of everyone. I mean,
agreed.
And I think every artist that writes a song, they always get their inspiration, I think for the most part from born of their own life experiences. But it's interesting because, on your album, you've got a lot of variety in the songs that you have, and they all have different messages, and they all mean different things. And that's the great thing that I love about music, is that how I might interpret a song might be completely different from how someone else interprets it. And it's just amazing how music can speak to people, and how it can be a great identifier for, kind of connecting the listener to the music in terms of what the song is about. So, but yeah, I mean, we opened the show with Joyride, and I love that song. And when I was trying to decide on a song to open the show with, I was like, what am I going to pick? They're all good. But I love the way that one just kind of grabs you, and it's so appropriately titled because I feel like I'm on a joyride as I'm listening to it. I mean, it's just all over the place, and the instrumentals are great, and the lyrics are awesome, and and you just feel like you're riding along with you in that experience in the song, of how you've been taken for this ride, So it just really, really good wording there. And but yeah, I mean, if you could pick one song on the album that you would call your favorite, which would it be?
It's so hard. I go through phases where I like, each a different one more every day. But I think if I had to pick, it would probably be He'll Never Be You. I really like to sing it, and I think I don't know. I always like to close my shows with it because I feel like it leaves you on like a good note and closes the show with a bang. And I think that I'll pick that one today.
Well, and I think music is like that too, because music, there's so much versatility in music that we all have our moods and our moments, and one day, we might be this genre, and the next day we're this genre, or, 3 weeks later we're feeling this for a week and a half. So, it's just interesting how music kind of complements whatever frame of mind or mood that you may be in. And there's a genre of music for everything, and that's one thing I love about your album, because it kind of has that feel to it, and but your vocals, let's talk about your vocals for a moment. Because, not only is the album in itself phenomenal in terms of what you have produced and what you have put out, but the way you sing is just so soulful, and you can really, as a listener, I could just feel what you were doing. I mean, you really have a way of expressing yourself in a song that you don't often hear. Sometimes you hear artists and they're kind of all over the map with the vibrato and the different ranges and tones that they're trying to hit, but it's just like effortless with you. I mean, have you ever had like any formal training early on, or was this just something you were born with?
Well, thank you so much for all those kind words. It's so sweet. I have been singing since I can remember, since I was like a toddler. I remember being in daycare and just singing to everybody who would listen to me. And so I did start taking singing lessons when I was about 12. I took them for maybe 6 years or so. I had an amazing vocal coach towards the end of the 6 years named Ray Lyle, just up here in the Burlington, Hamilton area. And he taught me a lot about performance and instead of just kind of singing a song, how to really express the song and entertain people through the song. And then just from playing live over the past few years, I've really been able to. I learned so much just playing live and playing for people. I learned about my voice and what I can or what I should do in certain places, and it's just fun. It's because if I'm having a good day, I feel like I can do most of the things I want to do, and so it's like singing is just, it's like flying to me,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
in a way. Yeah, it's a real.
Yeah,
sorry.
I was going to say. Yeah,
sorry,
that's
go on.
exactly. I was going to mirror that. I was going to say, it almost would feel like that. Just a good way not only to express yourself, but you can just kind of lose yourself in the song and just be free.
Yeah.
Kind of like being in the zone. When you're singing, I mean, you can tell it comes across in your music that you're just in that zone and doing what you were meant to do. And it really is conveyed. I mean, you do a great job. So, and I think every artist does try to strive for that, because it's kind of the whole point of making music aside from it being your passion. You really want to have that ability to connect with the listener when you're singing, and and it's just really, I think, a gift when you can do that and do that successfully well, and you do. So, kudos to you. I mean,
thank you.
Kudos to you. Now, I understand that recently you participated in a contest. I think it was called Honey Jam.
Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. It's an all-female artist showcase that was held here in Toronto at a place called the Mod Club, and I auditioned for it back in June, and about 300 or so women auditioned, and they chose 17 of us to perform at the show, which was in August.
Mm.
And so the showcase, that wasn't a competition. We all got to go perform a song and have a great time, but they did have a competition aspect of it where we all made a YouTube video promoting the show, and basically whoever got the most views of their YouTube video won a trip to go perform at the Honey Jam Showcase in Barbados in November.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I don't know, people just pulled through for me, and in a month I got just under 30,000 hits on this video.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so I can't,
Congratulations.
Thank you. I can't thank everybody enough for watching that. So November 17th, I'm going to be playing in Barbados at the Honey Jam Showcase there.
Oh, my goodness. And, that's like right around, for the United States, that's not far away from Thanksgiving. So I'm thinking to myself, gosh, what a nice little, time to be somewhere like that, especially when you live in Canada, to go to Barbados. I mean,
That's right. Well, we have our Thanksgiving in just actually a week from this weekend is our Thanksgiving.
I knew it was well before ours, and it was coming up. I just wasn't sure exactly when, but I mean, even still, with Canada, being a lot colder climate than we have here in the South, I mean, I imagine going to Barbados in November is going to be a real treat. I mean, so do not forget to pack your swimsuit.
I'll have it in my carry-on.
I have a feeling you may need it in Barbados.
Pardon me?
I said, I have a feeling you just might need it in Barbados.
Yeah,
you know?
Really.
So
yeah.
Now, how long will you actually get to be there? I mean, aside from performing on the 17th of November.
Well, it's a 5-day or 4-night, 5-day trip, like for 2, which is even better. And so it's we get the flight and the hotel, and I just go to one little show on the Saturday, and other than that, it's vacation time for me.
Heck yeah. Well, you've certainly earned it, because I've been watching your tweets on Twitter, and you've been doing a lot of performing of late, and then of course this contest was going on, and you were vying for that, and you've been so busy. I mean, what else have you had going on that you can share with the listeners? I mean, gosh.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this summer I've been really busy playing over in Montreal and Quebec, which it's about an 8-hour drive from where I am, but or like just a 1-hour flight really. So it's a nice little short trip over there, but my album Distance went to #1 on the jazz and blues charts in Montreal this summer. So that has created a lot of really great buzz over there. So I've got a lot of great fans over there, and I love every time I get to go play in Montreal, because it's always such a great time. So I'll be going back there in November as well, and in December. And we just finished the recording, just got the finished master last night of an original Christmas song that we're going to be releasing for this holiday season.
I like the fact that you just mentioned that, because ironically, and I haven't had an opportunity to tell you yet because I'm still trying to get all my ducks in a row on this, but starting November 1, in addition to the radio show here, I also run a radio station, and I've had it since 2007. So, of course, your music is on my radio station as well. It's called Jukebox Junction Radio. But starting November 1, I'll be kicking off our holiday music season. So I have been tweeting out, to artists, indie artists on Twitter, going, hey, if you've released any holiday music, please send it our way. We'll be sure and play it. And we're going to be doing some neat stuff. We'll still be doing shows through the holiday season, but they'll be kind of tailored more for the holidays, and we'll be doing a lot of different fun things and a lot of more interactive things with the callers. And so please, by all means, when you get that finished, please send that to me, because I would love to get that on.
That's great. I will. Yeah, I will for sure.
Yeah, we'll still
wonderful.
be doing some of our feature shows on Saturday nights. We'll be featuring the holiday music of indie artists, and so I would love to include it in. I know it's going to be phenomenal. Is it a original song you wrote, or is it a standard?
Yeah, I wrote it. I actually wrote it last Christmas Eve, so it was too late at that point to do anything with it for that holiday season. But I wrote it because I was on the phone with my dad, and my dad doesn't really like Christmas, just because he doesn't like the whole commercialism and materialism thing. So of course, typical man. Sorry guys, but he's at the mall on Christmas Eve just stressing. And so I'm like, Dad, just relax. If you don't know what to get someone, just don't get them anything,
Right.
Write them a nice card. That's not what this is about. Like, you should be enjoying Christmas, because I love Christmas.
I do too.
So
I'm a sucker for it. I'm so nostalgic. I'm already listening to Christmas music. Well, of course, part of what I do is I'm trying to find some for the coming season,
right.
which is just right around the corner. But
right, yeah.
Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
That's okay, yeah. So I've been wanting to write a Christmas song, but I didn't know what exactly to write about. So I decided I'd write this song, to my dad and to the rest of my family, just saying, like, this Christmas, like, don't spend your money, just spend your time on me. So that's the title of the song is This Christmas, Spend Your Time. Yeah. And
that really, when you think about it, that is really what the meaning of Christmas is all about. Spending time with loved ones, and it's it is commercialized. I mean, society and just the media and everywhere you turn around, it's just they've made it this huge commercialized conglomerate holiday season. Part of that's exciting, but ironically that we're sitting here talking about that. I don't know if you saw the news today, but Andy Williams passed away. It was announced this morning, and Andy Williams huge in the U.S., and he was really famous for discovering the Osmond Brothers, and also for releasing Christmas music like Happy Holidays, the most wonderful time of the year.
Goodness.
I mean, Christmas to me every year as I was growing up did not officially, I used to love Christmas music back in the day as well, and it just was not official for me till I heard Andy Williams singing "It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year" or "Happy Holidays," because to me that was kind of like a personal kickoff. It's like, okay, we can go now. It's free reign. Andy Williams, I've heard him on the radio, and that was back when radio stations would play, up until Christmas Eve they would play, like they would mix the Christmas music in with the regular mainstream music, and long before they transitioned just all holiday music for the season. But when you would hear that song, it would be just like nostalgic. And even to this day when I hear it, I still get that same nostalgic feeling. And to hear he passed away today was just, he had cancer, and bladder cancer. He'd had a long battle with it. And so he is an American icon and just one of the greatest musicians that ever lived in terms of, entertainment industry and so forth. So he will be sorely missed. But But his music was yes, and his music was a lot like that. I mean, that was the message that he tried to get out about, Christmas, was that it was not a commercialized time. It was a time of joy and, being with family, because truly that's what it was supposed to be all about and is all about. So, so I am excited, because I can tell you, if it's anything like your music that I've heard already, it's going to be great, and I can't wait. So could you hurry up and send that to me, please?
I will. I'll give you a little preview for sure. But we might be freaking people out talking about Christmas, so we should change the subject, because some people don't like to think about Christmas this early.
I know, isn't that so? I know. Well, it's okay. I mean, I don't. We'll see. I mean, it's hard. I know everybody has big feelings on it. So, well, let's talk about who have been some of your biggest musical influences in your life.
Well, I was fortunate that my parents raised me on really great music. So I remember just even as a kid listening to the Beatles, Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin, Michael Jackson, and just from a really young age, I've always been drawn to like the soul, blues, R&B music. I remember when I was in swimming lessons, I was probably about 4 years old, and the song came over the PA in the pool, and I was just mesmerized, like just in love with this song. And it's My Girl by The Temptations, which is still one of my favorite songs of all time. Yeah, so overall, like, the Beatles have been the artists that I've listened to just throughout my whole life, and I love them. I'm obsessed with them. More recently, my influences have been people like John Mayer. I'm a big fan of his work. Do you know the artist Gavin DeGraw?
I do know Gavin DeGraw. I have heard of him. I like his music. He's just a phenomenal songwriter.
Yeah, and he's an amazing singer as well. So I really love what he does. I went down to Ohio this summer to go see him in concert, because he never comes up here for some reason. So finally got to see him live, and it was amazing. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I've never seen him live, but I hear that he puts on a really good show. And I would love to see him if he ever got to this part of the U.S. It would be great. But he has some great music. I mean, every song he's ever put out, he's one of those artists that every song he puts out is just a good song, and it's as good as the last one, and you just anticipate the next song he puts out, because it's going to be just great. So but you have definitely had some, really good musical influences, and the Temptations. Wow, some of my favorite music, of all time is that Motown genre, where you've got the Temptations and the Four Tops, and it's just good stuff. Here we kind of it is typically a Motown genre, but here in the South we also have a genre that's kind of just privy to the South only, and it's called beach music, and as part of that, the Motown sound is incorporated into that genre, and we hear a lot of that here, and the Temptations, oh gosh, they're just awesome. I love all this group. You have really good taste, see.
Thank
and
you.
It shines through in your music, no doubt. So now, what have you got? I mean, are you working on anything new? Now you've got the Christmas song that you're, finishing up, but you just released the Distance album. But are you, as an artist, are your wheels always spinning to forward thinking to what that next project's going to be? Do you have anything like that going on?
Yeah, definitely. My mind is works like that. Always thinking about what I should do next, because you don't want to leave people waiting too long without new music. I know that I don't like to wait too long for the artists that I love. So, when we recorded Distance, we also recorded about 6 other songs that haven't been released yet. So we've got a bunch sitting there, and probably going to revamp them a little bit, and then also record some of the new songs I've written since then, and hoping to release an album in the first few months of 2013.
Excellent. Well, please send me a copy, because we'll keep playing your music as long as you keep making it. Let's just put it that way. That's what our goal is. We try to promote indie artists as much as we can to help everyone in this genre to be heard. And it's just so interesting how the indie artist revolution, as I like to refer to it, has kind of just exploded, because back just maybe a decade or so ago, indie music was kind of this particular style of music inside of the music industry, and now it's just, within that, it's become a genre all its own, because, it's got just about every kind of genre incorporated into it. And I like to say that indie music is the unintentional best-kept secret of the music industry, because, in my opinion, some of the best music I've ever heard is indie music. And it's just amazing, because that artists, almost everything I've listened to, the artist has written. It's not any about, somebody just getting in front of a mic and singing something that someone else wrote. I mean, they're singer-songwriters, and it's just great, because you can hear the passion, and you can hear the blood, sweat, and tears sometimes that comes into music, and it's just really good stuff. I mean, what is the finished products, I think, in a lot of cases, and, no offense to anyone on mainstream radio, but it's just some of the best music out there, in my opinion. And I personally would rather listen to indie music than I would any other kind of music, to be honest, because there's so much variety, but there's so much awesome talent.
There's so much stuff that we don't get to hear, because it's just, the mainstream radio is so exclusive, and it's so hard.
It is.
Yeah, it's hard for us.
The great thing about the indie music market now is that, thank God for social media, because, it has opened up so many doors for indie artists to be able to promote themselves. And the music industry as a whole has changed so much in terms of, being able to get signed and trying to get discovered. And there's just so many facets that have changed, that it's nice now that indie artists have these different outlets that they can, look to promote themselves and promote their music.
Definitely. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we wouldn't be talking right now, probably, if it
probably
wasn't for,
not. I don't know that I would have ever known to look for you in Canada, But thank goodness for the internet. I mean, it has certainly helped indie music grow to what it is, and I think it's gonna, it's just rising. It's on the continual rise. I see it, and I can honestly sit here and tell you, as a listening audience, that every indie artist that sends me their stuff, I have yet to hear anything bad. It's like,
really?
Yes, I mean, and I've listened to music my whole life. I'm no music critic, and I'm no expert, but I know a good song when I hear it, and I know a bad song when I hear it. And I've heard some mainstream stuff that I said, But I have, but honestly, I have yet to hear anything that I've ever received or listened to just on my own that wasn't good. It's just, it's like, so it has kind of helped my mission in terms of trying to promote, indie music as a whole, because I do believe that it has to be heard. It's got to get out there. People don't know what they're missing if they have never tapped into this. Believe me.
Well, it's great what you're doing. With your show, with your radio show, and your broadcast. We appreciate it so much, because without people like you, at this point in our careers, we don't have very many outlets to really have our music played on a bigger scale. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And I kind of fell into this by accident, because when I started my radio station, it was started kind of as a hobby. I grew up wanting to be in radio, and just different paths took me away from it. But I discovered I could start my own station online, and I did back in '07. And I just kind of uploaded all the stuff I liked and said, well, I'm just going to listen to this, because I got tired of mainstream radio. I was hearing, 2 songs and 10 commercials all the time.
Yeah.
It was just like, you know how that is. Well, they got to pay the bills, right?
Yeah.
and I quickly discovered that online I could create my own station with all my own music that I loved without commercials. I was like, this is the way to go. Well, it wasn't long when I finally just I thought, other people need to be listening to my stations, because they probably are in the same boat. Just created a page on MySpace for my station, really not to do anything other than to give people an opportunity to listen if they wanted. And next thing I knew, indie artists started contacting me going, hey, would you play my stuff on your station? And then it wasn't long before I realized that there was a real, genuine, legitimate need to promote indie artists, because they didn't have any other outlet in terms of radio airplay to be able to do that. And so from there it kind of grew, and I'm so glad that I actually took my hobby online. And, it started out a personal thing, but it ended up being not about me, but about you guys. So, and here we are.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, and so what other things have you got going on besides, it sounds like your November is going to be really busy, but what else have you got brewing that, you'd like to tell the listeners about?
Well, this is back in April, actually. I don't know if you've seen it. I recorded an official music video for the song Distance. Did you get a chance to check that out?
It's awesome.
Oh,
yes,
cool.
We have to talk about your video. And I was actually going to get to that, because I want to know right off the bat, what was it like making a video versus like being in the studio recording your album?
Well, when you're in the studio recording, you don't have to worry about a camera in your face, which makes you much more relaxed.
Oh, yeah.
So, I had never done, a professional video shoot before, and so I was a little nervous. It was it's a little weird at first, because your song's playing in the background, and you're kind of singing along or lip syncing to it, because obviously it gets overdubbed to the video. So that was in itself really weird, because I was trying to make sure that how I was mouthing or singing the words looked like how I was singing it on the album. And it's like when you're in front of a camera, it's like, what do I do with my hands? Like, what do I do with my body? What do I do with my face? I don't know what to do.
And that's when you hope you have a really good director in place that can say, now put your hand here, and that kind of thing.
Yeah. For sure. The director was very helpful. Actually, he's from Atlanta. He goes by Figs. And so he came up to do the video. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, it was about a 12-hour day by the end of it. And so, a few hours in, I was like, I got comfortable, and I started to love it, and I started to, work the camera. Try to. And get into character, and so it was really, really cool. By the end of it, I was like, "Oh, this is awesome! Let's do this again. This is so much fun." Yeah. So it was really cool.
And well, do you think you'll be making any more videos for any of the other songs on your album?
Well, I kind of want to make a video for the Christmas song. I'm not sure what the time frame will be like. Yeah, because that would be fun. But I think we should definitely do another video for one of the songs off the EP. Originally we were thinking of doing Joyride first. We ended up doing Distance, but I think that if we were to do another one, it would probably be for Joyride.
Oh, yeah, I would love to see that one. I hope that you will, because, in listening to the song, I could almost see it in my mind unfolding. So that would be a really cool video, especially if you have like an old 57 Chevy or something with the top down, and you're riding in the Joy, going on the Joy. Oh my gosh, what a great video that'll be! I hope you do it. So
there's a lot of potential for that.
Well, believe it or not, we have got a caller on hold for you, and I'm not sure who it is, So if you'd like to take a call, we'll put them through and let them talk with you.
Okay.
All right, area code 207, you're on with Melissa.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi, this is Travis.
Hi, Travis. How are you?
Very well. Yourself?
Good, thank you.
Good. I'm a good friend of Dawn's, and she told me I just got out of work, so I wasn't able to listen to the whole show. But I just started listening to your music not too long ago because of Dawn. So I'm a new listener. I love what I hear. I think you're just fabulous. I think you have so much talent, and I'm so glad I found you. Thanks to Dawn. And I just wanted to call and say hi to you and just let you know that you have a new fan in me.
Thank you, Travis. That's awesome.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. And Dawn had texted me, and she's like, if you want to call in, she's like, the show's going on until 9:30, and I just got out the door, and I said, well, I'm going to call.
Oh, perfect.
Melissa, when he asked me, I think it was yesterday, he said, now, when is Melissa going to be on your show this week? I said, tomorrow at 8:30. He goes, oh, gosh, I'm at work. And I said, well, so I texted him to remind him. I said, well, it's going to 9:30, so if you get out of work in time, you need to call.
Yeah.
he wanted to say hello, and he does. He loves your music. He actually was hoping he wouldn't have to work tonight, so he could just be on the show with me, and we could kind of pair up and talk. He could talk with you, but of course, duty calls sometimes, as you know. So,
yeah.
Anyway,
I'm glad the timing worked out.
I know.
Hopefully, I can get down to play a couple shows in North Carolina sometime soon. Is that where you guys are now?
That'd be awesome for Dawn, but for me, it wouldn't be awesome because Dawn and I actually met online. She was on another talk show, another radio show, and I had tuned into that show, and Dawn and I had an instant connection through there. And then I started my own radio show, and so Dawn does her radio show, and I'm, of course, in full 100% support of her show because I just think Dawn is very talented, and I think she has just a lot going for her, and she's had some really, really great guests, and, of course, having you on tonight was just, one of the top guests she could have. So, anyway, but, yeah, so I live in Maine. I'm actually in southern Maine.
Well, that's quite a bit closer to me.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Oh, way closer. I'm in southern Ontario.
Well, look at this.
Yeah. It looks like you'll be visiting Travis before you'll get to visit me, Melissa. So
Yeah,
gosh.
No kidding. That's funny. I'm glad we figured that out.
Yeah, me too. And you know what? It's funny because I remember reading your your biography and everything, and your bio, and just reading off on you. And of course, I just got out of work, so my brain is still frazzled from the day and everything, but it's true. I remember now hearing, and I'm like, oh my God, she's close. So yeah, that just clicked. Okay.
There we go. Well, maybe you could come up sometime, catch a show.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd totally be awesome. Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I do have my passport, so that would work.
Nice.
Yes, but yeah, I'm a huge fan, and I appreciate Dawn letting me, come on. I heard your voice, and I love the raspiness in your voice. It just captivates. It captivates me. Yeah, I'm sure it captivates everyone else. You know what I mean? And I think it just, draws you in and just wants you to listen more and more. So, really, really awesome. And maybe someday. What's that? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe I can chat with you on your radio show sometime.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Go ahead, Dawn.
I was just going to say, Melissa, he does a show called Gabtown Divas, and he started out, his focus was Days of Our Lives, soap stars, and he would have them on the show, and he still does, but now he's starting to branch out a little bit and interviewing, stars from other soaps, past and present, and it's really a fun show. He's getting quite the following, and so his focus is that, and mine is music. So we kind of mix and match sometimes, but we're just great friends and very supportive of one another and what we do. So but he's phenomenal too as a host. So I'd like to check him out sometime if you are going from place to place, and you know he's on, just check him out.
Yeah, I will have to tune in. Very cool.
Yeah, I would love that. I'm actually, it goes through talkshoe.com. And yeah, you can find me on Facebook or on Twitter. Twitter's Gabtown Divas, Facebook's Gabtown Divas. But I have, like Dawn said, just very quickly, I have been branching out to different, avenues. Not to take away from Dawn's show ever, because, Dawn's show is just the best. But, hey, sometime in a few months, if Dawn has you back, I would love to come on and, host and chat with you, or, maybe sometime have you on my show, just, as a special event. I think that'd be awesome. But just know that you have a new fan in me, fully supportive of you, and I'd be more than happy to, help promote anything you want promoted, like I know Dawn does as well. So whatever she has, I'll retweet, and just keep Dawn informed, and she'll keep me informed, or keep me informed. I'd just love to hear more of your stuff.
Oh, thank you so much, Travis. I really appreciate it. That's awesome.
Yes,
well, you are most
Travis,
welcome.
I don't know if you heard this earlier, but Melissa mentioned that she has written a Christmas song, and she's going to be releasing that soon. And so I can't wait. I cannot wait. And by the way, Melissa, what's the name of that song?
It's This Christmas, Spend Your Time.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that.
Oh. Me too.
I can't wait to hear it. It's going to be great. So,
yeah.
Well, is there anyone in the industry that you would love to work with or collaborate with?
Oh, yeah. For sure. I always answer this question with Paul McCartney being my number one, even because he's my idol. So I don't even know if I'd be able to get anything done because I'd just be so nervous.
I have been a longtime fan of Paul McCartney, by himself. Paul McCartney and Wings. I grew up in the 70s and loved his music in the 80s even, and still to this day, he's timeless. He never ages. He sounds as good today as he did back then. And
he really is amazing.
If you ever get the opportunity, please just pack me in a suitcase if you have to go to England. I'll be good, I'll behave, but I would love to meet him. He is on my list of top 5 people that I would love to meet before I die. Gosh, what a great person to work with. Is there any better, in my opinion?
I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got to see him live a couple years ago here in Toronto, and it was like, I felt like I was, in Beatlemania. He comes out and starts playing All My Lovin', and there's tears running down my face because I'm just like a little girl again. But sorry, go for it. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, when he performed like that, did he perform, his stuff primarily, or did he incorporate some of the Beatles songs in the mix?
He did do a good amount of Beatles to satisfy, which satisfied me, which was great. I like his solo stuff. I'm not as familiar with it as I am with all the Beatles material, but it was like such an incredible concert, and his stamina is insane. I think he was like 69 at the time, and I swear he didn't take one sip of water or just take a single break. I can't even do that. It's crazy.
He doesn't look his age. He wears his age exceptionally well. Mm-hmm. And, and it's kind of, for me, I've always loved the Beatles too, but he was my favorite Beatle.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad that they're all gone now, and he's the remaining sole Beatle left, And
well, Ringo's around. Don't forget about Ringo.
Oh, that's right, Ringo. What am I thinking? Sorry, guys.
I actually saw Ringo live back in June, and that was just right up there with Paul's concert. Ringo was... Oh, yeah. He was amazing. He was 71, and he was just all over the stage, having a great time, singing. His voice sounds just like he did with the Beatles, so you close your eyes and you just imagine him with the Beatles. It was awesome.
It would be so cool if one more time before they're both gone that they would collaborate, do together. And, do a mini tour okay, we'll let you have Canada. If they can't make it to the States, they could do England, Canada, that would be so cool, just to fulfill the long-time fans' dreams of being able to do that.
Oh, yeah.
gosh, that would be awesome. I don't know why I thought he was dead. What in the world? That's so embarrassing, Oh gosh, but they are without a doubt, the Beatles are just legendary, and their music. I like so much of their songs, and as a group, they had so many songs. I mean,
I know.
Countless hits.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I feel so fortunate as a fan that they were able to pack so much music into such a short career, because if they had just done a couple albums, I would be disappointed that that's all I have of them. But since they managed to do 12 albums?
Yeah.
In 10 years. That leaves a lot of material for me to listen to over and over again. So I feel very fortunate.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and so many Beatles fans around the world, just and it's, what a great inspiration to draw from in your own artistry and your own music, to grow up being in love with them and their music, and just being able to incorporate that now and take what you've learned, and add it to what you do, and to inspire you in your writing and performing and everything. It's just amazing. So
yeah,
I don't know that there's any better,
I'm with you on that. I read Paul's biography recently, and it was so inspiring. And just when you read about all the hurdles that the Beatles, jumped over to get to where they got, it's just so encouraging. And so every time I get a little discouraged or something, I think I'm going to stick with it, because you never know what could happen, because, your big break could be just around the corner, and no matter how many people say no, people said no to the Beatles.
That's right.
So
someone said to me one time, and I've heard it many times since, is that no doesn't necessarily mean no, it just means not now. Mm-hmm. And any time I've ever become discouraged in my life, and I've wanted to believe that no meant no, I had to remind myself that, hey, no, it just means not now. And it does help your perspective, and especially when you're trying to live your dreams and do what you love, you have to kind of keep that at the forefront of any discouragement or hurdle or challenge that you face, because it would be easy to let that defeat your mindset and your goals if you did. Mm-hmm. But that has always been probably one of the most powerful statements that anyone has ever said to me that's kind of stuck, and helped me throughout my life. So now, before we've got a few minutes left, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to tell the listeners where and if you're going to be playing anywhere upcoming that might be in some of the listeners, areas. I know that in November you're going to be pretty busy going to Barbados.
Yeah, I wonder if you've got any listeners there.
Ooh, that sounds like going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, that's a trip of a lifetime.
Yeah,
right?
Sure it will be.
Pack me in that bag.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've got a lot of people to pack in my bag at this point.
Oh, no, that's a choice.
Yeah, for the next couple months, I'm going to be mostly around locally, around in my area. I'm going to be here in Burlington. I'm going to be playing in Toronto quite a bit over the next couple of months, and then in Montreal in possibly in October, definitely in November, and then again in December. But I haven't really played much in the States. I need to start making it happen.
Well, that was going to be my next question for you. If you ever thought that at some point you would come into the States and do shows.
Well, I played at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas in 2010.
Oh.
Yeah, and that was unreal. It's just this 24-hour music extravaganza where I just felt I got there and I just felt like I belonged there, because constant music, constant artists you can meet and hang out with and learn from. So that was one of my favorite things I've ever gotten to do. And I have played up in New York a couple times. It was years ago. I couldn't even tell you the venue. I went down there a couple of times to do like an industry showcase type thing. But I haven't, since that South by Southwest show, I haven't gotten to play down there.
Well, if, I know that you will get back to the U.S. at some point. Is there any area in particular that you'd really like to, you'd like to go to just for the sake of saying, hey, I'd like to really check that place out and, and perform. Texas is great, though.
Yeah.
Maine.
Maine, yeah. Definitely. I was actually just in Chicago last week. It was just kind of for fun. But I went out to see a couple blues bands there, and oh my goodness, like that city, just as you guys know, I'm sure, it's like the quality of the blues musicians there is like unrivaled. And when I got there, that's another place where I was like, oh, I belong here. Because the clubs were packed, and with people of all ages just loving this blues music, and I would have killed to be on one of those stages. So Chicago is a place I would love to get to perform. I love to perform in New York City as well, and North Carolina, Maine, all those good places.
That's right.
There you go. And and you've got to get to the South. I mean, if you come to the States at some point, you have to come to the South and see what the South is all about and be treated to some down-home cooking, as we say, and Travis will start laughing at me in a minute, and sweet tea and all these things, barbecue, which is
and some snow cream.
Snow cream, yeah.
Yeah, if I come in the winter.
I know. Hey, Travis, have you ever heard of snow cream?
No, I haven't.
See?
I have
the
not.
people in the North haven't even heard of it. Okay, let me tell you about snow cream. You get a lot of snow in Maine, don't you?
Yes, we do.
Okay, well, here's your recipe for this winter when you get the first big snow, not the first big snowstorm, but I was telling Melissa when we opened the show, we were talking about winter in Canada versus North Carolina. And so our rule of thumb is down here, we make snow cream. It's like ice cream. The first snow of the year, we don't make it because the snow is cleaning the air, as we say. Don't laugh at us, it's a Southern thing. And the second snow of the year, we go out with the biggest pot we have, fill it full of snow, bring it in, and you add milk and sugar and vanilla flavoring, and you mix it all up, and it has like an ice cream consistency. It's like homemade ice cream. Eat it, and it's the best stuff. It really is. It's very light. And you got to try it. I can't believe you people in the North as much snow as you get. You've never done that.
That sounds so yummy. Oh, my God.
So yummy.
I haven't even had stuff else, so I'm like...
Well, you won't be having snow cream tonight because it's not cold enough yet to snow up in Maine, but it will. And, gosh, if you start making snow cream with as much snow as you guys get, you'll be snow creamed out.
Maybe I'll start like a snow cream business. Maybe I'll start selling snow cream.
It is a staple. I mean, it is here, and it's kind of a lost art because we don't get the snows we used to anymore. So now that you have snow coming, you've got to make snow cream, and you got to tell me how it is.
Mhm.
Will do. I will do. That sounds yummy. Oh my God.
Travis, if you run out, you just go out and get more snow, fill your pot back up, and make it all over again, and you're good to go.
Exactly.
So, I mean, there's no charting, no nothing. It's just instant, So it's great. But well, see, there's a takeaway from the interview tonight you won't ever forget.
That's right.
Oh gosh. Well, Melissa, is there anything else you'd like to share before we wrap up? We've got just a little bit of time left, and I want to play your phenomenal song, "Distance," off of your album before we close. But is there anything else you want to share with the listeners, or?
Well, just thank you so much for having me on tonight, Dawn. It's great to talk to you. Travis, thank you for calling in. It's great to meet you as well. And to everyone out there listening, thank you so much for tuning in. I know we may be far apart geographically, but you can find me online at melissa-bel.com or on Facebook and Twitter, and we can, be friends online until I finally make it to your city and come play for you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That is so true. And if you ever get down to the South, I will treat you to some barbecue, which is, pulled pork, but we do it right here in the South. And some country cooking, and just treat you to some Southern hospitality, as we like to say. So you can see what it's all about.
I'm booking my plane ticket right now. I'm booking my plane ticket right now.
Congratulations, Travis. Well, Melissa, I want to thank you so much. Travis, thank you for calling in, and I appreciate it. And by the way, Melissa, I did not pay him to call in. He just called in out of the goodness of his heart.
Thank you for clarifying.
Some really incredibly nice things. We're always funning back and forth like that, though. So, but
yeah,
Travis, thank you for calling. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And Melissa, this has been, it's been the quickest hour I think I've had all day. It's been so much fun.
It flew by. It's crazy.
And I would love to have you back, later on and kind of catch up maybe, after the first of the year, talk about Barbados and how that was and anything else you might have going on, especially, after you release your next album. So, we want to keep promoting you as much as possible. And so we definitely look forward to it.
Thank you.
And I'll be getting that night off, just so you know.
Nice, yeah. And so you had those 2 CDs, right, for that giveaway. Have you done that yet?
I have not done the giveaway. No, not at all. I do have them.
All right.
And however you want to do that. We didn't actually, please forgive me, but you and I didn't actually talk about what you wanted to do. I didn't know if you might have something in mind that you would like to do for a giveaway before we close. I
don't know. Well, for a giveaway? Well, I don't know. Maybe you could tweet like a trivia question or something.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah,
you know what?
Like if I could collaborate with any artist, who would it be?
See, there you go. Well, that's what I'll do because we've had people in the chat room tonight, but the number of people in the chat room is not always indicative of who's listening because we always have tons of listeners. So that's what I'll do. I'll tweet out a question or two after the show, and if you were listening to the show tonight, here's your chance to win a free CD. There you go, signed autograph CD. I
can give you my answer right now.
You're not eligible, Travis.
Travis, so we're else give you another one.
I'm just totally joking. But yes, I will definitely do that. And whoever gets those CDs, they're in for a real treat. I can just attest to that firsthand. So, well, thank you again, Melissa. It's been a blast. I've certainly enjoyed having you on, and we will definitely do this again in the very near future. We'll be in touch for sure.
I look forward to it.
And
thank you so much, Dawn.
Listeners. Oh, you're incredibly welcome. And I want to thank all the listeners for being with us tonight. And those of you who come right back here each and every time, we appreciate you so much and love you. And for anyone new that found us for the first time tonight, thank you so much for being with us. And we will be right back here on Saturday night. We'll be doing our Indie Artist Showcase, and we'll be playing all of the best indie music that we have been able to find, and it'll be 9 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to close the show tonight with Melissa's song off of her latest album. This is the title cut. This is called Distance. Everyone have a great night. Be safe, and we'll see you right back here on Saturday night. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Blog Talk Radio, where millions of hosts and listeners gather.